what I see. You know what I'm saying? So we talk. We talk and talk and talk and talk. She tells me where she's going. So we go to the West Roads and we both get off the bus at the West Roads. And we talking and talking and talking more. And I asked her, I said to her, I said, do you want, I like you, and I was like oatmeal cookies? And she's like, oh, I love oatmeal cookies. Oh, da, 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 da. So there was a cookie shop up there on the second floor, like, back in the day where the buses used to be, where they used to come up front. And we walked over there and I bought us some oatmeal cookies. And so we kept talking and talking and talking, and I got her number. And I was like, look, let me see if I'll see if my sister would drop you off. So Wanda, I asked Wanda because she was going down on 2030 coming. I didn't know she was going to visit her boyfriend all the way down there, considering where the fuck she lived, all the way down to where the fuck this motherfucker lived at. And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck are you going all the way down there to visit that motherfucker? So, but this was later on. It wasn't that day because I didn't know. But Wanda didn't want to do it, but I talked to her to do it. You know how Wanda's always negative about shit. Soon as, soon as you ask her to do something that's out of her way, she nuts up real quick. You know what I'm saying? They never know, okay, sure, fine. You know what I'm saying? I got to get into a debate with her behind it. But she did it and she dropped it off. And from there, her and I started communicating. And that's when I found out she was fucking with this light skinned dude who I ended up meeting, shortly after her and I started dating. But it took me a while to get her away from him because see, her mindset was that she was gonna go and see him, and I'm like, why the fuck is you a female? This man can't come and see you. Why you always got to go see him? See, because love is a two-way street. Blah 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 blah. Long story short, she ends up fucking with me, and I find out she lives way the fuck out there. Uh, and that this is gonna be an adventure for me. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, I don't have a car. Two, she lives out there way beyond where the buses go. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck I'm make this happen? But I made it happen, and I would go out there and see her. I would get my friends who had cars. Say to go pick us up, and we hang out. All of that shit. My friends took care of us. You know what I'm saying? I had good friends, white friends and black friends that would go get her or take her home after me and her kicked it or whatnot. And then that's when I started sneaking over to her house, her mom's house, and would eventually meet her. And when I met her grandmother, I realized, just from the conversation that we had, how mean a person she was. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could compare her and her together, like if you didn't know any better, you think they were the same. Uh, because it's just like they're not very nice up front, and maybe that's how women are at that age. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Distrusting. You never know what they've been through in their lives either. You know what I'm saying? To make them the way that they are or were. So I'm just like this. She's an evil ass old lady and shit. You know what I'm saying? And this, that, and the third. And then as I began to talk more and more to her after like we lay up and shit and we just talk and we talk and we talk, that's when I found out that her actual mother, and that she had brothers and sisters or two brothers, you know what I'm saying, and a mom, but her mom, I don't know how the story went, Tariq. I mean, it was told to me a long time ago, but somehow or another, you know what I'm saying, her and her mom wasn't getting along. And then the grandmama decided she'd take her and raise her. You know what I'm saying? And so that ended up not being a good thing because, see, what happens is when people take on the responsibility that was supposed to be given to somebody else, they feel like they should be owed something from somebody where did nobody ask you to do that shit to begin with? You decided to do that, and now when things don't work out for you, you want to abuse the person and shit like that. That to me is another fucked up person if that's what you do, and because you were supposed to take on this responsibility because you're doing it out of love. You know what I'm saying? But when the shit don't work out for you, that don't mean you go and start abusing people, and that's what happened to your mom. So now your mom is learning this as a younger lady. She was 18 when I met her. So, but this shit was going on beforehand. You know what I'm saying? And then shortly after I dated her, the grandmama throws hot coffee on you. And she should have been arrested. She should have been thrown in jail, but she wasn't. And I was in my 20s, man. So Wasn't like I could tell her to go call the police. Maybe I did say that. I'm sure I did say that. But if the woman had got arrested, like, this girl still got to live in her house and she's going to end up bodied out. Then what's going to happen then? So she got away with it, which I did not like. So I had no more respect for her mother. And Wanda was working at Bergen Mercy Hospital at the time. That was like her second job. And she got burn medication from the hospital. And that's what she used on her body. And because she was light skinned, um, because I seen it, man. You know how, like, if you put something hot on somebody, man, the skin bubbles up. You know what I'm saying? And then pus comes out of it afterwards, after it starts healing. Well, that's how your mom's back looked like, all over this way, all back down there, all right next to her ass, right there. It had skin, it was falling off of her, like so. If she wants to talk about abuse, this is what she has. This is where her legacy of being an abuser begins. Okay, now I don't know anything about what her mom did to her because we never really talked about it. I know she did something because that's why she ended up going with her grandmother. So maybe her mom was abusive too. So here we are, we dealing with a cycle of motherfuckers that abuse people. You know what I'm saying? Mothers, women in her family are abusers. That's why I be like, when you be trying to tell, when she be saying my name, I mean, I don't even think about that shit because I know better. You know what I'm saying? She comes from abusive family. She didn't get that shit from me. She got it from her mother, and then she got it from her grandmother. You know what I'm saying? And it perpetuated itself. So, with that being said, got her the medication, started taking care of it, right? So, boom, we talking about what are we gonna do for the future here? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to continue staying with Bob. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to make a move. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna be together. So,
So you try to save her from her mom, kind of
right.
like how I try to save Sonic from her mom.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Damn, now I can't breathe. It wasn't no force fed thing. It was just like,
I
what
didn't
do we
force
do?
feed it.
Huh?
I didn't.
Well, I'm just saying. We were just trying to figure out what we need to do. We didn't have no place for her, and I could go and stay like you and China did, but we were still trying to figure out. So I was gonna go into the military. Then she was like, my mom was in the military. I'm like, well, then why don't you go in the military? And then we talked it over, talked it over, talked it over. Finally, she decided yes. Uh-oh. Yeah. Um, uh, sit up because I can read. Uh, yeah. So so basically, she went into the Air Force. Okay, walked her through the whole process, everything. Boom, she ends up going to AIT, uh, and I went and visit her in San Antonio, where she graduated from. And I got a hotel and ended up spending all my money, you know what I'm saying, on that hotel for those 2 days. And on that third day, I was homeless in San Antonio. And she wasn't getting paid until that Monday. So that Sunday, I had no place to stay. They wouldn't let me back in the hotel room. So I walked the streets of San Antonio, not know where I was going to go. And I ended up going to a Subway sandwich store, and I sat there until they closed. I had enough to give me something to eat, and I sat there until they closed. And then after that, I just walked, just trying to figure out where I was going to stay. And I ended up running into some Mexican people. And the reason why is because there was a little Mexican kid. By the time it was dark outside, and I ran into this Mexican little kid, and he like just befriended me. The little Mexican kid just started talking to me, and you know how I am with kids. See, I get along with them. They like me and shit. And we started talking, and his dad came out to figure out who the fuck was was this kid talking to. It was me. I ended up telling them my situation, and they was like, "Come on in, man." You know what I'm saying? Like, because me and the little kid had hit it off so well. The kid liked me so much that the dad liked me. And so we ended up going inside and they made some Mexican food and shit. And I ate. And I told him my situation. And he's like, I gotta talk to my wife. So they didn't feel comfortable in letting me stay in the house with them. You know what I'm saying? Like he was gonna do it. The Mexican dude was gonna do it, but his wife wasn't comfortable with it. So they told me that they had um, a car, an old car. Yeah, Mexican people always got a fucking car in the backyard. They got a car in the backyard. And they told me I could sleep in that car until the morning. So I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And to keep in mind, it's hot in San Antonio. I get to the motherfucking car after everybody was trying to lay down. They got a fucking dog that keeps jumping on like Cujo, trying to get inside the car to get to me all night fucking long. I could not go to sleep. He's steady jumping up on the car. I was like, man, cool, this is Cujo shit. I just can't believe I'm in this situation. Went on and on and on and on and on. Finally, the next day came. I called my other girlfriend, Lucille Bangura, and told her what's going on. And I called mom and told her what was going on. And so she was like, well, look, she's like, I ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? They had to turn to Pops. Pops was like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Get down to, the bus station and we'll write you a ticket. I'll write you a ticket. So that money, I get in contact with Tracy. They all find out what was going on. And I got in contact with Tracy and she gave me some money. And I made it down to the bus station and went on. And we ended up getting married. When she went to not AIT, but you know what I'm saying, like when you train for your duty post, you know what I'm saying? So she did that in Denver, and then that's how we got married in Denver. Now she flew overseas, and I was still here back in the States. And in November of 1991, she wrote me a letter. She had been writing me tons and tons and tons of letters. But in November 1991, she wrote me a letter. And in that letter, she explained to me that I might not be able to come over there. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know how to tell you this, blah, blah, blah. Kind of find out she went up to the BX and stole some shit. Like, oh, payday. Like, I'm like fucked up. Like, you had money. You had already went and shopped and bought this shit. And then you realize you didn't have you forgot the eyebrow pencil and you got back in line and you didn't want to wait in line and they was holding your stuff at the front and you got out of line and pretended like you put it back and they watching you and you got caught with still an eyebrow pencil. You was about to blow your whole military career away over eyebrow pencil that you have money to purchase or that you could have came back and got when it wasn't as crowded. But you made a mistake. It was a huge mistake and they was gonna kick her out. And that's why the letter was about I might not be able to come over there because they might gonna be kicking her out. But they didn't. So when I got there, she was already locked up. Okay. And they would allow her to come visit me because they still allowed me to come over there. So they had sentenced her to 30 to 40, 45 days. You know what I'm saying? In like they little boot camp jail type shit. So they allow her to let me come there to see her and get me set up in Billington, but then she had to go back. And that was rough on me because I didn't know nobody over there. And then the next thing I know, people from her duty station would come and visit me to make sure I was okay because they knew that I uh, wasn't from there. But like their husbands would come and pick me up and take me like to the base to like go to the NCO club to have a drink and shit. But they'll say slick shit like, "Damn, man, your wife fine, but that was kind of some stupid shit she did." And I gotta hear this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like man, like motherfucker, I don't need you to come pick me up. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need you to come pick me up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say something slick and smart like that. So I'm dealing with that, and also dealing with the fact that she's in jail. And then, like, you were supposed to follow certain protocols while you were in that jail situation, and she didn't. So 1 week I didn't get to see her at all. You know what I'm saying? So now I got attitude. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole attitude of down here a month now. You know what I'm saying? I'm barely being able to see her. I got these motherfuckers I don't even know coming to me. You know what I'm saying? And then when she finally gets out and she comes to the house, she said something smart to me one day. You know what I'm saying? And when she said that shit, all that shit had built up, and, and I fucking slapped her ass. You know what I'm saying? Because she was going left on me. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a lot of pressure, and I'm not making no excuses, but that's when I slapped her. But that was no abuse. That was a reaction thing. You know what I'm saying? And I apologized to her, told her I was sorry. But then we got into it again. And your mother was the type of person, you know how she is. She'll run up in your face. She's small, little, you know what I'm saying? But she got that little spunk with her, you know what I'm saying? And so she would run up in my face. And I remember we got into it again when we had moved out from Billington and got that apartment in Spicer, Germany. And she stabbed me in the face with you know how you have an umbrella?
Mm-hmm.
You know how they have that point on the end of the umbrella? She stabbed me in my face with that shit, man. I ain't never stabbed her with nothing. You know what I'm saying? I slapped her, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my woman. You know what I'm saying? She got a little out of hand one day, wouldn't stop. So, yeah, I slapped her. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say I didn't. But choking and beating a woman down and abusing her, ain't none of that ever happened, man. Like, it was like one of those things where, like, she's coming all about, get the fuck out my face, and she runs up on me again. Get the fuck up off my face. She runs me again. I said, get the fuck out my face. I meant that. Then, you know what I'm saying, she get the fuck out my face. Because it seemed like she was getting it at first. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened. Next time she did that shit, I pushed her and she took that umbrella and stabbed me right in my face, man. Blood started gushing out and shit. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't go to work that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was at the apartment trying to get my shit fixed up, and then she went to work, and then she got off and she came back, and that's when I see the violence in her. That's what I saw. First of all, I see her like her running all up in my face type shit won't stop, but I didn't know that was gonna be a precursor to what happened next. And she stabbed me in my face with that shit. So I knew your mother was violent. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so these are things that you don't know that now are you to be a little late in the game, whatever, however you want to see it. But these are things you need to know when it comes to her talking about all that abuse shit because it didn't happen like that. I'm telling you exactly how it happened. That's why I started from with her mama, her grandmama, and then her what she did, and then when I got over there, the pressure that we had, and then that happened. You know what I'm saying? So when all the abusive shit, you know what I'm saying? So your mother needs to stop lying. That's why I don't pay her no attention. When she started talking about the Browns and she talking about Bobby, she's not telling you the whole story, man. Your mother essentially wanted to get back with me. You know what I'm saying? You know, after all that had been said and done over in Germany, and she ended up still getting kicked out of the military. You know what I'm saying? So none of this shit had anything to do with me. You know she got kicked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know that didn't have shit to do with me. You know what I'm saying? It had everything to do with her. And just her behavior, man. She's just not a good person all the way. You know what I'm saying? She just had fucked up ways by her, but she hid behind it because she was pretty. But all that shit comes out. Dog, I don't give a fuck about how you look. You know what I'm saying? If you bad, you bad. And that shit gonna come out. If you do bad, it's gonna come out and kiss you. And that's what happened. And then, she realized that shit. And then when we got back over to the States, she started like coming up to my jobs, bugging me and shit, coming to uh, uh, when I worked at Kitty Shoe Stores, coming up there every motherfucking day, every other day, bothering me. Coming over to uh, 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 the Olive Garden, sitting in my section, bothering me. So anytime you talk to her and she mentioned Brown and abuse, and say, if my dad was so abusive to you, like you say he is, was he ever arrested for abuse on you? You say he's abusive. Um, and then ask her, so when y'all got divorced and y'all came overseas, why were you going up to his job every other day to Kitty Shoe Stores? And why did you go and sit in his section at the Olive Garden if he abused you? Ask your dumb ass that. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Or, well, now it's Christmas. I'll talk to you later today.
All right.